Hey everyone, it's Jay again, and I already recorded this video actually earlier, and realized that I rearranged my entire room, and I had to move my computer and stuff. And apparently, if you unplug the mic, the computer automatically resets the default back to stereo mix. So I plugged in the mic, expecting it to still work, and it didn't. So I recorded about 16 minutes worth of footage that didn't get recorded. Thankfully, it's mostly just me talking and standing here. So what this video is about is I'm going to show you my level 35 Miscrits, my level 30 Miscrits and up, and what their skills do. So, if you haven't seen the Volcano Island video, I didn't mention this in the Volcano Island one, but I will mention it here. I'm not going to talk about any of the level 35 skills because they all do the same thing. They heal you 75%, they have a 50% chance to heal you 75 HP with a 15,000 gold upgrade to give you an additional 5 health. So if you want to spend that 15,000 gold, you just have so much gold burning in your pocket that you cannot help it, and you're like, oh, well, this, this 5 health could mean the difference between life and death, and that's actually very true, then go for it. And go ahead and get that. But most of the time, I usually don't. Let me see here. Yeah, and on all 4 of the current Miscrits that I'm using, I don't have it. So, Beam is really awesome. Beam, in my opinion, is a tanky physical attacker. He's not really elemental attacking. He is a tanky physical attacker. That's just my opinion on him. His main attack is Driller, does 30 damage, usually does 25, but you can increase it to do 5 more to make it 30, and it is just awesome. It is just a really powerful attack. The mine on Volcano Island, because he has Pounda's Talon, does, on average, 47 plus damage with Driller. So you include the 29 damage he does with Thorns, he's doing about 75 damage a hit. It's great. It is just great. So, Mudslide has a 100% chance to hit. Very awesome against electric Miscrits. Synergy, fantastic ability. It gives you a 5-turn hot for 10 HP. 100% accuracy. It is just great. Thorns, 90% accuracy, which does suck sometimes because sometimes it just misses and you just pull your hair out because it's just missing so much. But when it hits, it puts a dot on the opponent, doing damage based upon your physical attack, which is awesome. So it's not a flat damage like some dots are, and heals you 15 HP, which is just great. Sandstorm, of course, every Earth Miscrit that you have on your team should have Sandstorm. Removes the wind advantage, so it's great. Max power, I mentioned that in the Volcano Island video. Great ability. I definitely recommend putting that on you there if you have it, upgrading it if you have it. Fetal position, shields up. I should probably put shields up 1, because sometimes they lower your defense by 5, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I raised it by 6. Anyway, now this is Chieko. I just got this Miscrit. I just fully expert trained him. He has no relics on him, obviously. He busting Miscria, okay. Plumos is an interesting ability. However, what it looks like, by the way, is these birds, these flaming birds, fly down and kamikaze dive towards your opponent, and it does a decent amount of damage, not a terrible amount of damage. If they're Earth, it does a whole lot of damage, but it does a decent amount of damage. But it also has an opportunity, which I believe it's also 90%, a 90% chance to lower their physical and elemental defense by 3. However, if that misses, which it does occasionally, you don't get your 15 health replenished, which is really kind of frustrating sometimes, because when you do the damage and you're like, alright, I hit the damage, I can't wait to get my 15 health, and then you don't get the 15 health because the debuff missed, it's really frustrating at times. Balefire has a 100% chance to hit, pretty decent fire move. Rally, really awesome move. It's better than max power in my opinion. It's just a big buff to your physical and elemental attack. So that's pretty awesome. Sleep and Safeguard. Sleep I'm not going to mention because I mean, its name tells you what it is. Safeguard, even that name pretty much says what it does, but I'll say again, it increases your defense by a decent amount. Either 8 or 10. I don't know how to read this sometimes, because sometimes it changes, and sometimes it doesn't change, so it's either 8 or 10. Um, and High Focus. High Focus is great. What I recommend doing, and I've been doing recently, is I've been using High Focus, and then I'm using Plumas. That way, I always get my 15 health, and I always get the debuff. So you just gotta pop it once, and then use your Plumas. So it's really useful. Love Lash. This is originally Seedly. Seedly can be caught in Don's Landing. He has a lot of awesome abilities. This Thorn Thrust, which attacks multiple times, has 100% accuracy, and has a chance to Venom. It is just awesome. It is just a great ability. Smackdown, not as great as Thorn Lash, mostly because he's not really a physical attacking character. However, it does a decent amount of damage, an okay amount of damage. Falling Leaves is awesome. What I usually do is I do Falling Leaves followed by Thorn Thrust. And it puts a dot on the opponent for, I think, 5 turns, if I remember right. It's either 3 or 5. This is what people love them for, though, is keep your wits, confusion immunity for 5 turns, and you can upgrade it to heal you 5 HP. Ancient Rites, which uses you from sleep for 5 turns, and you can upgrade it to regenerate 5 health. And Photosynthesis, of course, very useful on any Miscrit to be able to have a negate element on the as an actual skill on your Miscrit. That's very nice. So that's about it for Seedly. So Praetorian here, originally known as Aegis. I did not know this was Aegis originally, and if people would have told me that, I probably would have gotten this Miscrit a lot faster. However, he's really not that amazing. Again, this is my personal opinion on those Miscrits. He has Hailstorm. Hailstorm hits exactly 13 times, and it usually does 2 damage per hit. So it's going to do 26 damage. Exactly 26 damage. And 26 damage is not a lot when you're fighting a Miscrit that heals 25 HP every turn. Or if you're fighting a Miscrit that is hitting you for 32 damage and healing 15 of their HP every turn. 26 is not a lot. Yeah, you can lower their defense using Tears, which is a pretty awesome debuff. However, that'll only make it +3, which does make it 39. And that actually makes it worth doing. But, I don't know. I feel like there's probably better Miscrits out there than Praetorian, in my personal opinion. So, Bright Lights is a fantastic skill. I have many other Miscrits that have this skill, and this skill is just great. For Miscrits like Praetorian or Seedly, or any Miscrit, a Skelepup, a Bali, and a Hero, any Miscrit that hits multiple times, Bright Lights will mess them up. It'll just mess them up. It really messes up Beam even. So it's just it's almost an overpowered skill. So Bright Lights is very useful. If you have a Miscrit that has it, you might want to keep him in your team. Max Power I mentioned earlier, and that's about it for you. We'll go ahead and move on to Magma. He has Rough Rush, which is a very powerful physical attack that increases your speed by +2. That's pretty cool. Unbreakable I mentioned in Volcano Island, where it increases your defense. Venom, pretty self-explanatory. Puts Venom on the target. Brimstone, I mentioned in Volcano Island, but it does have a 20% chance to wreak havoc, which is very cool. Bright Lights, just mentioned. Awesome skill. Max Power, I think Magma is a pretty good Miscrit. Oil Fire, so yeah, pretty good Miscrit in my opinion. Bali has Leaf Wings, which is an attack that hits multiple times. It's very powerful if you can get all hits. Tempest is a powerful single-hit skill. I still think Leaf Wings is a little bit more powerful. However, they do both have a 90 to 95% chance of hitting. So if you want to fix that, Bali does have High Focus. That'll get rid of that. Small chance to miss, because I miss Leaf Wings all the time. Despite the fact that it has a 95% chance of hitting, I miss it at least one every single time. Unbreakable, very useful. Sleep is awesome. Max power is awesome. So I think Bali's a pretty good Miscrit. Frankensnarl, originally Skelepup. Oh, by the way, a Bali original form is Twilly. So Skelepup or Frankensnarl has Brainy Bolts. This attack is so powerful. Like, this attack does a lot of damage on Miscrits that are non-earth, non-wind. But when you find a Miscrit that is wind and you hit him with this, if it's not a one-hit kill, it's almost. It just does that much damage. It is a really, really powerful skill. And Charge Up increases it even more. Those two work really well together. Most of the time you don't have time to do Charge Up because he doesn't really have any other good abilities besides that. He does have Toxic, that's nice. Unbreakable, that's nice. But he doesn't have Confusion, he doesn't have anything like that. Nothing really useful except for Brainy Bolts. And Thump is a decent physical attack. It misses a lot on Frankensnarl. I don't know if this is just my bad luck or if this is just something common with Frankensnarl. But he misses Thump often. And it does heal 5 HP if you upgrade it. So, my next Miscrit is Hero. Hero's original name is Toothy. This Miscrit is very cool if you don't have a beam, or if you don't have an Acidiape, or you don't have a Miscrit that can heal itself while and sustain itself in battle. It has a lot of skills to help itself sustain. It has Justice, which heals itself, Intimidation, lowering the elemental and physical attack of the opponent, Wicked Showers is a dot, Shocks is a dot, Keep Fighting is a hot, Bright Lights I mentioned before, really awesome skill, and he has High Focus. So just all around a really awesome Miscrit. Maybe one day what I'd like to do is just put a whole bunch of defense on him, just boost his defense like crazy, and try using him again, because I'd like to see how well he does like that, personally. I do have Monkey. Monkey's not very good. Simple attack. Deep Sleep is awesome. A lot of people really like Deep Sleep. It's like regular sleep, but I think one additional round and 20% chance to wreak havoc. So that's nice. Cool Breeze is a one-turn heal for 15 HP. So there's better Miscrits out there. Monkey used to be a good Miscrit back in the old days, however, is no longer. Voilimp used to be the same way. Has Shock Smash. I don't know what I was reading there for a second. He has a chance to wreak havoc as well. Sludge is a very awesome debuff. It lowers everyone's defense by quite a lot. And Confuse I mentioned before. Max Power I mentioned before. Shy Smile, Shields Up. Okay, alright, we'll go ahead and move on. Move on right along. Korok? I'm not sure. Has an attack Battle Rocks with a 10% chance to Venom if it's increased, but I don't think I'll ever use this Miscrit, so I probably won't increase it. I mean, look at his stats. They're all terrible. I mean, his health is the only thing that's semi-decent, but everything else is terrible. Hyper Power, you can get plus 13 to elemental attack and physical attack. Venom, that's nice. And Sandstorm, which again is always useful on every Earth Miscrit that you have, or pretty much any Miscrit that you have is good to have in the negate. So Monkey I've already taken a look at. Anu Blaze, Growlfern is a very cool ability that you can make 100% accuracy and does a decent amount of damage. Sleep is very useful. Brimstone I've mentioned before. Unbreakable, Max Power, Poison. So let's go ahead and move on to Dark Blargles. Dark Blargles is very awesome, especially if you have him expert trained and you have him with a good defense. Let's see, which one of these are better? Okay, definitely this one. I don't even need to look at him too long. Dark Tentadril is very cool. It does a lot of damage and has a chance to poison. Sludge, lowering your elemental's physical and elemental defense. Venom is very useful. Sprint is not so useful. And he's got a couple others, but he's mostly used for these these three purposes right here, these three uses. Now, Dark Graston is a very powerful elemental attacker. He can do a ton of damage. I have seen him just like buffed full elemental attack, and he was doing like 100 damage with his final move. He can do a ton of damage. Venom is very useful. Thump is not so useful, but Harvest is there to give you quite a bit of health back as well if you need it. Merciless is there to increase your attack. Acid is there to lower their elemental defense. So and Pollen is what makes this guy golden. Lowers your accuracy by 10%, has a 100% chance to hit, so it cannot miss, and has a 20% chance to wreak havoc. Man, that is what I call messing you up. Next is Kraken Hook, who is not very great. Has a attack that heals him 10 HP, has Sludge. Merlin's Beard increases his elemental attack. Toxic, and that's about it. Sleep, and that's it. So, not one of the better ones out there. Praetorian I like. I think Praetorian is a very cool Miscrit. However, he's not very good anymore. He had Reaping Flame, which did have a 20% chance to wreak havoc on the opponent. However, there's tons of skills that do that. I do like his Magic Eraser, and I don't see this there a lot, but now there's, you know, like Sludge and stuff that are even better than that. Although Sludge lowers defense, not attack. But still, I think you get my point. Confuse is very, very useful if you can land it. And that's about it for Praetorian. Fiender, I didn't talk about Fiender in Volcano Island, so I'm going to briefly go ahead and go over him here in Sunfall Kingdom. He has a lot of cool attacks. Eerie Breeze has a 100% chance to hit, does quite a bit of damage, and increases his physical attack and elemental attack by 1 every time he hits with it, which, 100% accuracy, so it'll always hit. Complete Confusion, 50-50 chance, awesome jutsu. Or wow, skill. Still saying jutsu even after all this time. Hyperpower, I mentioned before. Twister Toxin, Sleep. I'm going to go over Twister Toxin in a second. Debaser, Fetal Position. So what I would recommend doing, if you could pull this off, is doing Sleep, doing Hyperpower, and maybe Hyperpower again if you're feeling lucky, but you probably just need to do it once. Do Twister Toxin, and then follow it up with a... oh, no, what you want to do is Sleep, Hyperpower, Complete Confusion, Twister Toxin, Eerie Breeze, and that's 5 turns, and it's all of your sleep and confusion, and you've just done so much damage. I mean, just those 4 turns of hitting, rather, because with 2 Twister Toxins, I believe, and 2 Eerie Breezes, maybe even 3 Twister Toxins. That's doing it's anywhere between let's see, like 110 to 150 damage. So, Fiender is very powerful. However, he's also very weak as well. He's kind of like a glass cannon, and he can get taken out very quickly. And that is it. That is all of my Sunfall Kingdom Miscrits that are 30 and plus. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Later.